And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream at the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I say, hey, hey, how are you? So once again, I'm going to have to do my daily video live. This may become a habit. Uh, Obviously, I'm doing a Super Bowl wrap up, and I had planned to, right after Super Bowl was over, I'd go and record. But I have been over in the People's Podcast all day, and I was having a real good time. And while the Super Bowl was on, I had it on my TV with no audio, but I can tell you the important points anyhow. Advertisers spent a lot of money. Did you guys see? Now, I didn't pay attention. I wasn't listening to any of the ads. But oh my God, they had like every big name star in the world in their commercials. Um, and oh, the other important thing is there were several Taylor Swift sightings. So if anybody took my advice for your Super Bowl party and had a drink every time Taylor Swift appeared on the screen, I apologize. Uh, and Okay, I know this much. Kansas City beat San Francisco in overtime. I was very sorry to see that. Not that I really cared which team won, but this is absolutely the worst outcome I can imagine. It's what I even earlier in the day thought I would hate to see, a last second win by Kansas City, because that's just going to add fuel to all those crazy conspiracy people that were saying the game was going to be fixed because they wanted Kansas City to win to make all the Swifties happy and all that crap. So we're going to have to listen to that for days. What else can I tell you? I can tell you that song that I started with. I've got a group sing going on that over in the People's Podcast. There was a bunch of chaos going on. I just sat there and started singing. And after a while, people were looking over and seeing my mouth move. They couldn't hear me because there were all these people yelling and screaming and calling each other this and that. And slowly they all sort of stopped to see what was going on. And the mods put me up on the big screen, and at least 4 or 5 of my friends joined in for the chorus. It was fun. And I was hoping that was going to be a little break in the action, but within a minute, the one crazy lady that's over there just started with, okay. Super Bowl boring, right? Nobody really cares unless the Steelers are playing. So let me tell you about this lady over there. And, I've been trying to be a calm person. And especially like over there, it's not my panel. So I can't make rules. And Eli does this great thing where he just leaves everybody in. I would not be able to do that. But we got this one crazy lady, and I keep saying this, but I'm telling you, if somebody threw a net over her and she was examined, she would be, if she has not already been, she would be diagnosed. She's got schizophrenia or something. Don't forget, I did have 2 semesters of psychology when I went to college. Anyway, the very first time she came in, and I don't want to say Josephine's name, but that's probably not her real name anyway. First time she came in, and she started in wanting to tell everybody about how the cops are mistreating her. Now, being how that group was formed by a First Amendment auditor and fans of First Amendment auditing, people can be very sympathetic to someone who is being knocked around by the police. So she started off saying when she was 9 years old, she saw a mob hit on Long Island, but that has nothing to do with what happened later, so I don't know why that she had to throw that in. But then, for some reason, the cops were after her, and were pulling her over for no reason, and just so she moved to another part of the state, and the cops found her there, and would do all this stuff, and she couldn't have any friends because anytime she made friends with somebody, the cops would start harassing them. And so she moved to another part of the state. And the same thing would happen all over again. Okay, now I, of course, sat there, being very sympathetic, thinking, bitch be crazy. Then there were a couple other people there that said, oh no, I was in chat at the time. We were just over in chat talking. A couple of different people said, oh no, I've seen the paperwork. What she's saying is true. So I thought, okay, give her the benefit of the doubt. Next time she came in, she decided to start telling us how Pearl Harbor was faked. Now, I have heard the conspiracy theories before that I could accept there might be some truth in it, but after I looked into stuff more, I don't think so. But anyway, there were a lot of people who thought FDR knew it was coming and he let it happen because he wanted us to be in the war. I'm not going to go into all the reasons why I think that's crazy. But anyway, this wasn't her. This wasn't. If she'd have said that, I'd have thought, okay, she's one of those. One of those. No. Get this. Her uncle was in the Army. He was stationed on Pearl Harbor. He saw it happen. And when he came home on leave, he told his parents that it was all faked. That it wasn't the Japanese, that we had bombed ourselves in a false flag. Now that's my word, not hers. I know she probably has no idea what a false flag operation is. But anyway, and she kept saying, well, you explain to me, why else? Why else would the Japanese attack us? Why wouldn't? And I know I was saying in chat, and some people on the panel tried saying to her about how we had cut off Japan's supply of oil and other things, and so that's why they came after us. But she wasn't listening to it because when her uncle was home on leave and told her parents about this, she was a 9-year-old kid and she listened to it all. Okay. Let's think about the math a little bit. She says she's like 60 years old. Pearl Harbor, 1941, which sadly people on the panel kept saying, wasn't it like 1943 or 1945? And I kept typing 1941, 1941. Anyway, I even put December 7, 1941. Anyway, 1941, let's do the math. Okay, 41 to 2000 would be 59. 59 we'll say plus 23 because it was December, right? 59 plus 23. Tell me if I'm wrong, but that would be 82. So if she was 9 years old at the time, she would now be 91. So that just doesn't hold up. But she still kept going on about it. And one of her favorite things is when people tell her, well, it's common sense. It's common sense. Thinking about it. Meanwhile, there's 10 people on the panel, 9 disagree with her, but she's got common sense. So tonight, we're having a good time in there. We've been doing a thing where we're telling dad jokes and yo mama jokes. Because, there's nothing funny than making fun of somebody's mama. Because, as you know, your mama was so fat that the earth was flat until they buried her. Anyway, Then she comes in, and she sat there quiet for a while, and there was like a cute thing going on. The one lady who's like a regular there, and she's like the mother hen of the whole thing. You know, she's got a really good heart. And she asked, Eli was there at the time, and she said, would it be okay if my granddaughter came in? She wants to do my hair, and she wants to be on camera. And Eli was like, yeah, that'd be great. He said, everybody, please keep this in mind, you know. And her granddaughter came in another time a couple of days ago, and she was telling the lady about her day at school. And this little girl was just like telling her how this one boy was messing with her, and she probably just turned around and told him to back off. He didn't, and she punched him in the stomach. So, you know, automatically, I love this kid. Anyway, she's there doing her hair and stuff. And, you know, there was no big deal except for crazy Josephine. He's like, you know, they put chemicals in hair dye that will seep into your brain and give you cancer. You know, it's like one other lady said, anytime she's in there, she can never say anything good. No matter what's going on, there's got to be something negative. And she'll talk about when she was a kid and somebody tried to stab her. And today, and you know, there's still always the cops are always following her and stuff. Anyway, after the granddaughter left, and then we're talking all of a sudden. Oh, well, you know, at one point, some of us, 911 came up. And we were exchanging stories. You know, there's a lot of New Yorkers in there. The one guy was like 8 blocks away at the time when it happened. And I think another person, like their uncle's in the fire department. Anyway, this lady had to bust into our nice conversation and tell us how 911 was all set up. Now, again, I know we've all heard the conspiracy theories, you know, about the false flag and all that. And again, I'm not going to get into all the reasons, but I don't believe it. First of all, I don't think the Bush administration would be able to pull off something that big without it getting leaked out. And secondly, if the Bush people were going to do a false flag, are they really going to attack Wall Street where all their friends are, right? Anyway, but again, her conspiracy goes beyond what these other people talk about, you know, false flag and that there were explosives, you know, secreted in the tower and all this. No, you know, all those news films and stuff you've seen of the plane coming in, it hitting the tower, and all the eyewitnesses who were on the street and saw it. The reason she knows that didn't happen is because it was a hologram. Think about that. A hologram that big in the middle of the day. Anyway. So that's what I left a little bit in. And it really got heated at one point. Now there's another lady there who I respect the hell out of. Because, now you're going to think this is, why would you respect her? She used to be a prostitute. But she survived being a victim of human trafficking. So, and she pulled herself up from that background, and she is now somebody who advocates for, you know, taking care of people who have been in these situations and fighting human trafficking and stuff like that. So, you know, that's the kind of person I really admire, you know, and while she's arguing with this one lady who is from Holland, and somehow still the American brainwashing machine reached her. She started calling this other lady a prostitute and saying all this stuff about her because she thought she's the one that I mentioned, you know? So the other one came up who had been a prostitute, and whoa, there was fire coming out of her mouth, and it was quite the sight. But anyway, that's what I've been doing today, and that's why this Super Bowl wrap-up has been done live. And don't forget, tomorrow's video will be me and Finkel doing our music show live at 12 o'clock. Of course, it is available to be viewed afterwards. So, anyway, I hope you all had a good day, and I'm sorry for anybody who has to go to work on Monday, but peace out. Hey.